Hi, my name is Marcus, and today I'm going to show you how to set up your camera and the Triggertrap mobile app to take pictures of star trails. Now there's more than one way of doing that. You could either take a single long exposure of 1 or 2, 3 hours, or you could take individual images like 100, 200, 300, each 30 seconds long, and afterwards stack them all together in a program like Photoshop. Today I'm only going to be focusing on the Star Trails mode, which is implemented in the Triggertrap app. So let's get started. What you will need is a camera, a sturdy tripod, and the Triggertrap mobile dongle. Now that comes with the universal mobile dongle that plugs into the headphone socket of your iOS or Android device. And depending on the model of your camera, it comes with a connector cable to plug into your camera. In my case, I'm shooting with a Nikon D200, so I've got this 10-pin connector which goes into my camera. And then it's just a matter of connecting all the things up and you're ready to go. And that's really just a matter of plugging it into your camera, connecting this to the mobile dongle, and connecting this headphone jack to your iOS or Android device, like so. Let's move on to the camera settings for the Star Trails. I'll just take this off for now. You want to be shooting in manual mode, and that's really important, so you have full control over all the settings. Then you want to set the exposure to bulb, and you want to set the aperture at f8. A lot of people say you should shoot wide open to get more light in, but I found that f8 for my lens is the sweet spot where I get the sharpest images, and that's what I'm looking for. So I think f8 is a good starting point. I set the ISO at 200, 400 is also possible, or you could even go up to 800. The higher the ISO, the brighter the stars are going to be, and that's a matter of trial and error really. Make sure you've got your lens set to manual focus and focus manually. Now you would think taking pictures of the stars you want to focus at infinity, but I found that just before infinity works better for me. That might not be on all lenses, so make sure you do a test shot and evaluate the image and make adjustments if necessary. The only other thing you want to set up on your camera is to turn off noise reduction, and I can show you how to do it on my camera, which might not be the same on yours. So bear with me. Now I go into the menu and I'm going to check that my shooting mode, the image quality is set to RAW. That will give you more choice of fine-tuning your image later on. The long exposure noise reduction is set to off. High ISO noise reduction, you can leave that on or turn it off altogether. Doesn't really matter because we won't be shooting at a high ISO. Then you want to go into metering and exposure and check that auto ISO is turned off. We don't want anything to interfere with our settings. That's really all you have to set, and we'll now move over to making the necessary settings in the Triggertrap app. Now the camera is all set up and connected to the smartphone. All that there's left to do is to configure the app itself. The Triggertrap app can be downloaded for free from either the iOS App Store or the Android Marketplace. Now let's start the app and dial in the necessary settings. You want to scroll down once this is loaded to find the Star Trail mode. Once that's up, you're being presented with 3 sliders. The first one is how many exposures you want to take. The second one, how long each exposure is going to be. And finally, you can specify a gap between each exposure. Now you might want to ask, why do I need a gap between the exposures? That's to give the sensor a chance to cool down, because a warm sensor can also lead to increased noise in your image. But you can also use that slider for some creative use. For example, if you don't want a continuous star trail, you can put it at 5 minutes between each exposure, which means that you won't get a continuous star trail, but a dotted one. So that's purely a matter of choice and what you want to do, what kind of image you're going for. Now you can adjust each of the values by using either the slider below it. If you're having trouble getting the exact number, let's say we want to set it back to 300 exactly, you can also click on the downward facing triangle on the left hand side next to it and then dial in the exact number. Click close and that's set. Now for start trails, I would go with these settings: 300 exposures at 30 seconds each with a gap of 1 second. And as a kind of information, it tells you how long is this going to take. So that would be about 2.6 hours. Now all you need to do is really press the button. Once that's running, it shows you how much time is left on the current exposure and how many shots are remaining. If you use the app, you will need to have the screen turned on the whole time. So make sure your battery is fully charged and it doesn't run out of juice halfway through what you're trying to do. Now that all the settings have been made, it's just a matter of you going out there and taking the shot for yourself. I will put all the settings I've used in this tutorial into the description of this video, but please remember it's just a rough starting point for your own start trail photography, and you might want to tweak the ISO or the length of the exposure or any of the other settings according to the lighting conditions you're in and what look you're going for. If you really like these circular start trails, keep in mind you have to face your camera towards north, or if you can make it out, even the North Star. Very important, keep your batteries charged. Remember to charge your batteries. I can't stress that enough. Long exposures drain the batteries in your camera, and keeping your phone on all the time will drain your phone as well. So make sure batteries are fresh and you're all good to go. We would love to see your results, so please post them on our Flickr group or tweet them with hashtag Triggertrap. I will include links to those as well into the video. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope to see you soon. Bye.